Hey everybody, in this video we're going to talk about boat covers and what we call a skiff poncho. The difference is a cover for the Ultraskiff is just a 72-inch in diameter round cover. It's actually a patio table cover, and since we started we've been promoting these covers and customers have been buying them. Now a skiff poncho is the same cover but slightly modified so that you can cover the boat completely, waterproof it while you fish or while the boat is actually sitting on a dock completely set up with the motor on it. So we've already made videos on these, but we're going to redo them in this one comprehensive video, and we're going to touch on everything. Now we've tested every brand there is, and I have to say this is the nicest brand yet. These come from a website called Empire Patio, and the covers are made by a company called Budge Covers, and they actually specialize in vehicle covers, boat covers, so it's right up their alley. And even though it's made for a patio table, it's perfect for the Ultraskiff. They have a few different types on their website. There's an economical one, then there's one called the Premium Signature. That's this one here. It's around $50. And then there's another one that's around $60, and that's called the Rust-Oleum Never Wet. And it's just as durable as this, but it's a much lighter material. The only difference is that if I'm just buying a cover, the Rust-Oleum Never Wet one is fine, but if I'm going to poncho it, I've ponchoed both, they both work fine, but I actually like this little bit of a heavier one in the Premium Signature for creating a skiff poncho out of, because it's a little bit heavier, and on a windy day the wind won't get up and flap it so much. Not a big deal. Both of them are just as water resistant and just as effective, but the flapping in the wind can be a little bit annoying. So this is the Premium Signature. I like this dark greenish color. It can even be used as a camouflage shroud for duck hunters. You can poncho it and keep it on your skiff, and it'll really camouflage your skiff well out there. Anyway, these covers usually all come with buckles, so that if you were using a patio table, you could go underneath and strap it to the table so it never blows away. So it does come with stuff like that, but they're really not needed. In most cases, I would just cut them off. So who needs a cover? Well, to me, there's two types of people who need a cover, and that is people who keep their boat on a trailer like this, flat, all the time. They probably need a cover. Because if it wasn't on a trailer, I would say just flip the boat upside down or put the boat upright, lean it against a wall in your backyard or against a fence or something. But if you're going to have your boat like this, you're going to want a cover on it. Now, when people first started buying these covers, a problem that some people had was pooling. They'd put the cover on like this, and it would rain, and then water would start collecting here, and then obviously it could fester, mosquitoes and stuff like that. So we don't want any poolage. And how you fix that is pretty easy. All you have to do is cut a hole right there in the middle of the cover. So we'll do that really quick. Got a pair of scissors here. I got the cover on. I'm gonna put my hand right here in the center and poke a hole. And then just cut a little piece out here. That's really it. That's all you would need right there. Beautiful. You can see how nice the water beads on this cover. Okay, so there you go. That's all you'd have to do if you wanted to keep your boat covered up in your backyard. But what about using the boat in the rain, fishing in the rain? Well, number one, let me point out before we get into it that fishing in the rain on the boat is perfectly fine. I do it all the time. I enjoy it. What happens? Well, a lot of water is going to hit the doors and hit this and then roll onto the deck and then go right out the center drainage hole. Okay, most of the water is going to leave, but a lot of the water is going to collect inside the rod holders, which isn't that big of a deal. It's going to collect inside the cup holders, which is a big deal. It's the most annoying part of fishing in the rain, because I like to use the cup holders for tackle, lures, plastics, my phone, my keys, you know, stuff that you want quick access to, and I don't really like any of those things getting wet. So that can be a little annoying. And then some water is going to seep in to the doors. It's hard to avoid that. In a rainstorm, you're going to get a little bit of water inside the storage compartments, and then the battery compartment in the back is also going to get water in it. Now, a lot of misconceptions out there about batteries. They're allowed to get wet, they're allowed to get rained on. See, I'll turn this on, and I can spray this battery all I want with water. Doesn't affect anything. Perfectly fine. Okay, so as long as you have your phone inside your tackle box or something, it's okay to fish in the rain on the skiff. You know, if you're in a really heavy downpour, you're probably not going to want to be out there. But if it's just a light on and off intermittent rain, no big deal. You can be out there having fun. But that doesn't mean a poncho isn't extremely effective, because there's nothing like having the boat completely dry. Dry rod holders, dry cup holders, dry compartments, even in a heavy rainstorm. And the only way to completely waterproof the Ultraskiff is with a cover. Okay, so we're going to put this 72-inch round cover on the skiff again. Line it up the best you can so that this the seam on the top here is sitting right on the rounded part of the gunnel like this. Beautiful. Press down on the center. Okay, so what you want to do after the cover is on is you just want to feel with your hand, and you want to feel where the deck ends and starts to move upwards onto the inner hull, okay, which will be right about here, right on the edge of the doors. And you just want to draw a line. So with one hand, actually with the same hand, you're just feeling the edge of those doors, and you're drawing a circle just like this. After that's done, take your pair of scissors, go to the line here, and cut around the circle. There we go. Take that part out. Okay, now the next step is whether or not you want to trim the bottom, because obviously if you're in the water, this extra right here is going to kind of, it'll be in the water, it's no big deal, but I like to shorten it. So what I do is I grab a ruler, I usually like it to keep it, you know, the length of the boat, just maybe a couple inches above. So we'll come over here to a side, put the ruler up at the top of the boat, and we'll say, let's see, the whole thing is about 20 inches, so we'll go up to about 14 inches, and we're going to draw a line, and I'm just going to keep going like this and drawing a line at 14, make a few marks so that when I'm cutting I know what to connect to. All right, now when you cut this, it's not going to end up perfect, of course, but pretty close. So I'm going to start down here, come up here to my first mark, and I'm going to start cutting. And I just want to try and hit these marks. And there we go. This piece here we could just cut off really quick. Now this isn't necessary, but what I'm gonna do here is there's a seam right here. You can see it. I'm just gonna line that seam up with the exact center line of the boat. So that's right in between the transom right here. Okay, because I'm gonna use that seam, I'm gonna cut right up it, just on the side of it. And what I'm doing here, this is the next step, everyone. This is the final step, really, to making your skiff poncho, is to just cut a slit on the back seam all the way up to the end right here, to where this seam right here meets this seam right there. So, take my scissors. I'm gonna start right here, and I'm gonna take it up just like this. And that's it. And there you go. You're done with your skiff poncho. This slit in the back here, what it's for, is for your motor. Okay? And that's what the slit's for, to go over the motor, just like that. But how do we waterproof it? Well, we need one more thing, a clip. These are tarp clips, right here. Get these at the hardware store. Less than $1 a piece. They're very inexpensive, a million versions of them. But what I do with this cover is right on the side of a trolling motor mount. You see right here, these two parts. All you have to do is get your tarp clip and slip it right over the edge of that mount, just like that. Press down on the locking mechanism of the clip. Boom, good. Now let's do the other side. Same thing. Moving down here, locking the clip in. Good to go. Okay, now this cover is locked in here, and it is pretty much 99.9% waterproof, the entire boat. So now it's clipped onto the motor. Cover secure. We can be out there fishing in the rain, heavy storms, all day long. You can leave this out at your dock, tied up for a whole week while you're on vacation. If it rains, no big deal. Any water that hits the mat, hits the cover here, is going to roll right down and go right into the drainage canal. You can hear it going right out of the boat. It's a beautiful thing. I have fished a lot with these covers on, testing them out, and I'll tell you what, it's pretty awesome. So anyone have any questions, reach out to us anytime. info@ultraskiff.com. Our website, www.ultraskiff.com. If you ever need any tips or help finding these covers, reach out to us. We know where to find them. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. As always, tight lines.